are you up to, madam? Hey guys, welcome to Kara's Aquatics, and today I'm taking you on a little adventure into my kitchen where we are going to try and culture some vinegar eels. This is the first time I've ever cultured vinegar eels. I was very lucky enough to get a starter culture from my local club, and the guys there were really generous and gave me a little culture to try and make my own vinegar eels. I currently have 2-week-old bettas up in my little fish rack, and they could really do with having some vinegar eels and some live foods. They're currently only getting I can't remember the brand's name, but I'll put it somewhere on the screen, but it's the First Bites, which is a really high quality fry food. I do recommend it if you are ever cut short on not having any live foods for your fries or anything of the sorts. It's a great little starting food. So without further ado, let's head to my kitchen and go try and start a culture. Right guys, welcome to my kitchen, and here are my vinegar eels. I'll give you a little close-up shot of them in a second. Just want to go through the things that I have on hand at the moment. So I've got my starting culture, I've got some prime just to help with any ammonia and chlorines and stuff that are in my tap water. I have myself some organic apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. So hopefully this will give the vinegar eels something to eat because it's got all the little bits of apple in it. So I shouldn't need to give these guys any more slices of apples or anything like that. And I've just got a little jug that I'm going to use to measure out my mixture and solutions in. So yeah, let's get started. I'm also going to grab some scissors and filter floss, as I'm going to be reusing this bottle as what people do. They fill half with dechlorinated water and half with apple cider vinegar to just about the base of the bottle until where it gets thin at the neck, and then some more dechlorinated water on the top of the floss. So what will happen as the vinegar eels culture, they will swim up the solution and go through the filter floss, and they'll sit in the dechlorinated water here to try and get oxygen at the top. And that is where we will be collecting our culture from. So let's get started. So here's just a really quick close-up of the vinegar eels. As you can see, there's thousands. I'm trying to have a steady hand so you can see them move. There you go. So as you can see, there's thousands in this little starter culture. So this should definitely be keeping my baby bettas happy for a while. Okay, so I got myself a little bit of filter floss, as you guys can see right here. So I'm just going to fold this in half and just cut and use about this much. If I mess up the filter floss, I'm not too worried, as I have loads of spare, so I don't mind messing up. So here goes just a little chunk of filter floss, and that will be going into the bottle like this. Probably fold it in half and then pop it in like a bit like that, if you guys can see. So we're going to be using this bottle to cultivate our culture. So let's put these guys to the side. And I'm actually going to open this up. And oh, this actually got a little fun cap. That's fine. We could probably pop that off. So let's just pour all this out. Actually, it would be better probably pouring just half out. It's a bit more. Should we say that's about half? Nah, we'll just pour it all out. Let's pour this all out into here for now. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful smelly vinegar. I'm just going to fill this bottle up with a little bit of tap water. Give it a quick little shake, little wash, just a little one. Not that it matters, I don't think. There we go. I'm just going to use these scissors to actually try and get this little cap off. There we go. Easy peasy. Because this, although it would be, I suppose, helpful, it's also kind of going to get in the way. So I would rather just take that off. And I'm going to fill this bottle up to probably about, up to where it says the apple cider vinegar, so this label here, and then I'm going to fill the rest up with the vinegar I've just poured out. So I will do that now. Fill this bad boy up. And I'm just using lukewarm water. Like I said, guys, this is the first time I've actually done a culture. I tried to make infusoria culture a while ago when the baby bettas started wiggling. They still had their egg yolks to feed on, but I just wanted to try and make an infusoria culture. However, I don't think it was very successful. But now that the guys are a little bit older, they can eat vinegar eels and they should be absolutely fine. So let's dechlorinate this tap water with some of this prime. Give it a little shake. Not going to need much because prime's quite highly concentrated, so just a little. That's all we really need. Here we go. I'm just going to give that a little swirl just to mix that all together. And then I'm going to pour the vinegar. Hold on, let me try and angle this. There we go. Then I'm going to pour the vinegar into the bottle. I'm hoping some of the mother will fall in. If not, I can scoop some out, I'm sure. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Say to about, oh yeah, some of the mothers fell in, that's good. About there. Maybe a wee bit, maybe should have done a bit less than that, but I can see some of the mother floating around. I know that there's some in there, so I'll scoop it out with one of my little funny paw spoons. There we go. And just see if I can get that to fall in. Just so I know that there's stuff in here that the vinegar eels are going to eat. There we go. Is there any more mother in here that I can... Looks like that was the big bit, so that's fine. And now, it's time for the fun bit, getting these guys in. So, these guys have been cultivated in some half apple cider vinegar and half dechlorinated water, where the guys have, instead of using apples to cultivate these guys inside of a bottle like this, the guys have actually used like an oaty cereal, like All Bran or Weetabix or something like that. You guys can kind of just like mash up and add to the solution. And then obviously they've put their culture in there and let it do its job. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pour some of this oaty mixture, which has some eels in it. I'm not going to use all of it because I do want to save some of this culture just in case this doesn't work. So I'm just going to pour a little bit half. And obviously I've still got all the vinegar eels. You can see sort of the cloudiness from the light from the window hits, like about here. That's all vinegar eels as well. So there's definitely some of the vinegar eels in here that will be alright for a little while. So close these guys up, and I will keep them in a dark room and keep them happy somewhere. So I'm just gonna give this another little swirl just to try and get them, the vinegar eels, to have a swim, I suppose. There we go. I actually don't know if I can see any eels. Let's then fill this up with some filter floss. We could actually probably cut that filter floss in half. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut this floss in half. Just get a little cube. Oh. And I'm going to put it in this way. I'm just going to very careful. Oh, I think maybe I didn't make it too thick now. And I'm just going to make sure that it's touching the vinegar here, so the vinegar eels actually can get through. And I can actually see I've got some gaps here, so I am actually going to very quickly use my scissors to actually pinch and pull this out. Because, oh no! Uh-oh, this is not what I wanted. Oh, there we go. I think I've managed to save it. Yeah, mother came out with that though. Okay, this is why I have extra filter floss. Let's try again. So I'm gonna not use a cube. Yeah, we'll use this then. Let me see. I'm actually going to go grab. Can I drop this in? Get in there. There we go. I'll put a little bit more mother. Let's see if I've got any in this jug if I put it in the light. No, not really. Oh, it's a little bit. A little bit of mother I can drop in. Okay, what I'm actually going to do, I think, well, saying that, they've got all that oaty stuff at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. They've got all that oaty stuff, so they do have food. Use this one. It's a bit taller. There. Yeah, that seems to be fitting a little bit better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw the rest of this vinegar away, because we're going to find out together, guys. So just going to give this a little rinse, because I don't want any vinegar. Don't want any vinegar at the top of my bottle. Not going to need much water. Not even this. And then I'm going to add some more prime. Again, hardly need any prime because it's super concentrated. And I'm just going to very gently pour this on top of the filter floss. Really carefully. And hopefully, I'm not going to fill it all the way, I'm just going to fill it to there. So if we leave that, I'm hoping that the vinegar eels will, from here, will swim through the floss and cultivate in this like clear bit here. And that's where we'll be taking our cultures. So let's leave it to do its thing, I suppose. So I'm going to go get a bit of, don't really have any cloths, but I'm going to get some kitchen roll, and I'm going to get a little elastic band. I'm just going to cover this and then I might put the lid back on. I still want air to get in because obviously I need oxygen. So I'm going to get a bit of kitchen floss, I think, and I'm just, not kitchen floss, some kitchen roll, cover it and put an elastic band on it. So let me go grab some. Okay, I got some kitchen roll and an elastic band. So, I mean, I definitely don't need a kitchen roll of this size. So I'm just going to get the scissors, not that I need scissors, and just cut this right in half. Put it to the side. I'm going to fold it like this. Just kind of do that. And do that. I'm hoping by doing this, I'm going to stop any unwanted pests like flies getting in there and ruining the culture. So I'm just, silly as it sounds, I'm actually going to poke a little hole into this. Like so. And I'm going to get the filter floss. I saw this tip from Keeping Fish Simple. Tiny bit of filter floss. I've literally just split a cube in half, like long ways, tiniest bit. And I'm actually just going to poke it into that hole I've made. That way, flies and things can't get inside. That's a little bit thin actually. There. Oh no, I got the, wait, what? Okay, let's try again. Whoops. Okay, let's try that again with this one. We make mistakes, guys. It's learning. Okay. Attempt 2. Because I got that other piece wet. So let's wrap this up. Like so. Poke a little hole. If I get this one ruined, I'm going to just try with the lid. Filter floss. I mean, I don't even want it to be this long, so. And I'm just going to kind of stuff it in that hole. Like that. That way it stops any flies getting in, but we still have oxygen getting through the floss into the bottle, where the vinegar eels will swim up and get the oxygen. So, let's see how this works, shall we? I will just gonna write the date on this bottle real quick actually, whilst I've remembered, just so I have a record of when I made this. I'm trying to think of the date now. Today is the 10th. So I'm just gonna write on the bottle 10, 3. There you go. And I will get back to you guys when I have seen, or not seen, depending on if this has failed or not, some changes with the culture. Hey guys, so it's been a couple days, about 3 days, and just want to give you a quick update on the vinegar eels. Here is the bottle of vinegar eels, and although it's a bit hard to see, nothing has really changed. I'm not seeing anything in the inside, I'm not seeing any wigglers, no wigglers in there. Not seeing any wigglers down here in the sort of oaty stuff that I put in. So nothing really to add to this. I don't know if maybe the vinegar was just too off. What? So you can see all this stuff like floating around, but I'm not seeing any eels. So I'm going to leave this for like another week or two. At least I'm going to leave it for about a week. Yeah, I'll leave it for about a week and then I'll update you guys on this again. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm actually going to make another culture using a different method. So let's head back to the kitchen and give that a bash, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back to the kitchen. So as you can remember, we used this culture to try and culture this. However, we're not seeing any progress with this. So we are going to start a second culture using this again. I'm going to leave the new culture that we created for another few days, give it a week in total, and then I will update you guys again on this to see if it's worked. But as a backup, we're going to do another culture, and we're going to culture it the way the guys at the club did with this stuff, which is basically just like oats, like porridge oats. So let's get the stuff we'll need. Okay, so I've got the stuff we need. I've got myself a fresh tub, my oats, got myself a new bottle of apple cider vinegar with the mother again, in date this time, freshly bought from the shops, and a jug just to hold some water. So we'll start with doing 250 litres of water. I don't want to do it too big. And we're going to pop it into the clean tub. I need to go grab the dechlorinator. I've just remembered. 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so I've got my dechlorinator, so I'll just give it a quick shake. Again, we're not going to need much of this, to be honest. So we're just going to... That's all we really need. And then we're going to do half apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to give this a shake. Get the mother mixed up. There we go. Alright. Crack it open. Such a satisfying noise. And we'll do 250 of vinegar. My cat's pawing me. I don't know if you can see him or hear his claws, but he's wanting attention, that's for sure. Pwah. Lovely vinegar smell. So that's 50-50 of that. It's actually quite a lot. I might need a bigger tub. Anyway. Trial and error, guys. We're learning together. Anyway, so we've got our dechlorinated water and our vinegar. Next is the oats. Now, from my knowledge, you want the oats to be soft. So I might cook it. Just a little. My cat is very interested in what I'm doing. I don't know if you guys can see him. He can a little bit. So I'm just going to take a scoop of oats. Might need more oats than that, to be fair. And you know what? I think we might be okay just to put onto here. You don't want it. No, it doesn't smell nice, does it? So yeah, I'm just going to pour it in. The oats will absorb the water. I'm just going to do another cup actually, because I want to make sure these guys are going to have... There we go. That should be enough. So I've just done 2 like rough scoops. I'm just going to get a spoon. I'll get my animal spoon. Give this a stir. I don't know if you guys can see that, it's gone like all milky. Maybe well starch. Now I have heard that some people were putting yeast into this. Okay, so I've got my yeast, just some baking yeast. Just gonna open. Take care inside the blah blah blah. Okay. Just gonna sprinkle a little. Shouldn't need too much. Give that another mix. Might actually add some more oats. Actually, I'm going to add another scoop of oats. There. I've made quite a lot. I might actually split this into a couple tubs. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. It's looking much thicker now. Oh, that oat. Yeah, just a little more yeast. There we go. I think if I was to do the other culture I did again, I would add an apple slice. So if you guys want to try the first method, I would add an apple slice. And that will maybe make it work a bit faster. Okay, so I've mixed everything together. This is what it kind of looks like. It just looks like some really frothy oats that you don't want to eat. I'm just going to go grab a second tub and pour it, and we'll make 2 cultures. Okay, so I've got another tub. I'm just going to pour this right in. Get some chunky oats in there. Yummy, yummy. In our tummy, guys. Yeah, that looks a lot better. So I'm just actually going to scoop some more oats into here. Try and get it 50-50. And there we go. Now that should, yeah, I think that will be absolutely fine once the oats soak all that up. This one might be a little bit more on the runny side, that's fine. Now, I did a really stupid thing. Guys, don't do what I did and leave your culture on a heat mat. Because I don't know if you guys remember, it kind of dried up a bit. When I am looking though, I do see movement. So I know some of the culture is still okay. So I'm going to try and scoop some of this out and get some of the good culture into here. Don't know how, I'm just going to try it. Don't want a lot of this bad stuff. Tiny bit. Just mix it right in. Hopefully we'll get a good culture that way. Try and get some for the other side. I'm literally just scraping the oats at this point in hopes that some of the guys, yeah, see movement in there, so we'll get that in there. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything, because to be honest, I think this culture is gone. No, the culture's definitely on its way out. So like I said, I'm just trying to get well, I'm not going to get every vinegar eel in there. But I definitely want to try and get the stuff that I can see is alive. So I'm actually going to use the sun to help me spot the regulars. I see regulars up there. Now, will we see regulars in these tubs? Probably not for a bit. I'm just going to pour this liquidy stuff. Because all this is like liquid gold in fish keeping. Like, this is the stuff you need for your fry. So like if you can savor any of this and it's alive, definitely want to put it to use. You know what I might actually do real quick is I might pour a little mixture into here. Give it a swish. Pour it in like that. Do the same with this side. A little bit in there. Give it a swish. I'll try and swish it over on the other side of the tub. And just pour it right back in. There we go. Oh, I'm dripping drips. Don't drip drips, guys. This stuff absolutely stinks. I'm not gonna lie to you. It pongs, okay? But for the babies, we do it. Okay, that is my culture. Like, done. I was just about to put that in the sink there. Let's not put it in the sink. One last stir there. Another stir in here. Okay. Now, we are going to leave these to do what they do. And I will get back to you on these. I did poke holes into the culture one. I don't know if I'm going to poke holes in these ones. I might do one with holes and one without holes. And see how they go. So, probably do this one with holes and this one without. I will put these away on my shelf and update you guys if I've had any process with this or with this. So let's some better luck in round 2, shall we? I do just quickly want to say in this tub there's a lot more liquid. There you go, you guys can see that a little bit. It's a lot more. There we go, a lot more liquid. And I haven't had success in this one yet. So I'm going to give it a stir and see if that helps the oats absorb some of the goodness. And hopefully that will help this culture. Look guys, so I've just took the lid off and gave this a stir and I can actually see a little bit of eels in here. So hopefully, if I just leave this a little, there we go, if I can just leave this a little bit longer, then it will cultivate a lot more. So we're just going to leave this tub a little longer. So as you guys can see, the vinegar eels have really sprouted in here. So I'm just going to quickly show you how I feed them to the betta fry. Okay, so now that I've got the lid off, you just simply, let me find a good little bit. Yeah, that bit looks good. So you simply just get your finger and just wipe your finger right along the edge. Don't be scared to put a wee bit of pressure on there. And then all the vinegar eels are just on your finger. And you simply just dip your finger, give it a little wiggle in the